Chapter 29. Overlord Fist. Kang Chon looked at the contemplative heavenly demon and was secretly on guard. Please search, better update faster. AM wished all the candidates good luck in their exams. What he didn't expect was that the heavenly demon sighed, raised his hand, and threw out a small tripod. Looked at the group of cultivators surrounding Kang Chon, turned around and faded away at the entrance of this city. Kang Chon held the small tripod and frowned. What did this heavenly demon mean? The same as what he said. The corners of Kang Chon's mouth twitched as he put away the reverse heavenly cauldron. Sweeping a glance at the surrounding cultivators, he let out a cold smile and was about to noisily walk away into the distance. Stop him. Leave the reverse heavenly cauldron behind. Kill him, and we will be the heaven reversers. A loud roar exploded in Kang Chon's ears. But those guys only spoke without moving, dryly roaring at Kang Chon without making a move. Kang Chon snorted coldly and said, "Rubbish." After saying that, Kang Chon's body stood still, looked round, laughed once again, and sang dashingly as he dashed wildly towards the distance. Kang Chon left the heavenly demon divine path. While in the heavenly demon divine path, the legend of Kang Chon was left behind. At this moment, what Kang Chon didn't know was that, in the reverse heavenly cauldron at the center of his brow, at some point a small diamond-shaped crystal had appeared, which was constantly rotating and absorbing this power. Kang Chon sat cross-legged on the sea of weak water, melting the 8th reverse heavenly cauldron. While in the reverse heavenly cauldron, the rhombus was absorbing invisible power. And in all of the major divine paths, there was power that flew out, especially in the heavenly demon divine path. Moreover, there was also some power that came from the heavenly realm, penetrating through that thick barrier and drilling into Kang Chon's brow, condensing that, the small diamond-shaped crystal. A month later, Kang Chon stood up. At this moment, his cultivation had already reached the immortal Emperor 9th heavenly perfection. If he wanted to break through to the heavenly Emperor realm, he only needed to absorb the last reverse heavenly cauldron. And then he could break through to the heavenly Emperor realm. Kang Chon had originally headed straight towards that Emperor hegemony divine path. In his thoughts, this last heavenly cauldron of inversions must be in this Emperor hegemony divine path. However, Kang Chon's figure hardened and stopped at the sea of weak water, turning his head to look towards the distant land of exile. The direction guided by the power emanating from the reverse heavenly cauldron was that land of exile. The corners of Kang Chon's mouth twitched out. Could it be that this last inverse heavenly cauldron was in the land of exile? Why had he not realized it before? Kang Chon couldn't figure it out, but he still ran towards the land of exile. This time, the fangs did not make any comments, and in the close to the land of exile, that sea water is still calm, not the last time, as the horror of the waves, Kang Chon frowned. His heart has begun to tremble. The power of the trembling, so that he cannot withstand some of the body hard to stop. And that against the heavens tripod is a quake. From Kang Chon's brow flew out, appeared in Kang Chon's eyes. For the first time, Kang Chon looked at the 8 tripods in unity from such a distance. On this small tripod, there was a weird pattern engraved on it. Kang Chon looked at this pattern and was a little puzzled. This pattern looked like a map at the first glance, but at the second glance, it looked like a silhouette of a human being. And then at the second glance, it was the silhouette of a beast. And every time he looked at it, it felt different, and Kang Chon frowned and looked down. He froze. At this moment, a fang beast rushed out from the sea water, running towards the reverse heavenly cauldron. The fang beast under Kang Chon, however, opened its eyelids and looked at it, then closed its eyes again, and did not move. That reverse heavenly cauldron, once again a tremor, then a shadow from the reverse heavenly cauldron rushed out, towards the fang beast below to pounce over. Kang Chon froze. At this moment, he remembered that there was also a fang beast in this reverse heavenly cauldron in the beginning. At this moment, the aura of this fang beast had become very powerful. Or rather, this Fang beast, which was the very first form of the heavenly walking beast under Kangtian, had the appearance of a silver moon whistling wolf, radiating a pugnacious aura all over. The two identical Fang beasts tore together, constantly roaring, while that heaven-reversing cauldron, however, was constantly rotating. Kangtian quietly watched this scene, not knowing what to do. This heavenly ditch divine beast was actually a Fang beast as well. The tearing below lasted for a long time. Eventually, Kangtian's tripod Fang bit down on the neck of that Heaven's Gully divine beast, and with a fierce suck, it unexpectedly sucked a large portion of that Heaven's Gully divine beast into its stomach. The Din Fang's body radiated a pitch-black light. Its aura was even stronger. The injuries it had torn out earlier had now recovered as much as they could, and it looked at the Heaven's Ditch divine beast, which had become weakened, with a raging aura. With a roar, it pounced again. Then, Kangtian saw that tripod Fang unexpectedly suddenly became bigger, opened his mouth and swallowed that heavenly ditch divine beast. His body flew and shrunk, only to see that tripod Fang's stomach move back and forth. This finally stopped. Ding Fang's aura is even stronger, and with the Ding Fang's roar, seawater rushed out of thing, straight towards Kangtian running. Kangtian raised his hand to catch it, looked at it, and laughed bitterly. This was actually a reverse heavenly cauldron. I didn't expect that this reverse heavenly cauldron would be taken in by the heavenly Tao to help him guard this divine hall. The tripod Fangs returned to the reverse heavenly cauldron, and the aura dispersed on the reverse heavenly cauldron became even more intense. Kangtian was about to put the adversary heavenly cauldron back into his brow again, but he realized that something was wrong, and touched his brow, and at the location of his brow, a diamond-shaped mark appeared. What is this? Kangtian was puzzled in his heart, watching the reverse heavenly cauldron enter the center of his eyebrows. But the regiment that appeared was on a small tripod, with a small diamond-shaped point of light floating on top of the small tripod. It formed an overall pattern. The last small tripod, Kangtian endured the many questions in his heart and fused the last small tripod. The waves of the weak water sea churned, as if the heavens and earth were about to end. The entire world was about to be destroyed in general. Kangtian's fusion surprisingly caused the heavens and earth to change drastically. And in the sky, a constant eye appeared, quietly looking at Kangtian. It slowly faded away. I do not know how long. Kangtian opened his eyes. The weak water sea under his feet has been restored to calm. Kangtian looked at the Fang beast, would like to ask something, but think about it or give up. The Fang beast does not open his mouth to speak now, even if he asks or asks in vain. After thinking about it, he still sat on the sadness of the Fang beast, and ran towards the Imperial Hegemony Divine Path. Degree extremely fast. In less than a day's time, Kangtian appeared in the last of the 9 divine paths, the Empyrean Divine Path. Already entering this place, Kangtian had a sense of familiarity, as if a wanderer who had traveled far away had returned to his hometown. And that familiar power made Kangtian unable to resist groaning a few times. Coming, a faint voice rang out from Kangtian's ears, causing Kangtian to turn around violently and look in the direction where the words rang out. A middle-aged man. That appearance made Kangtian familiar and unfamiliar, familiar to the bone, but unfamiliar. In his impression, his father was not this strong. His father was not the strongest cultivator of the divine path. Was that amiable father? Was which man who urged his cultivation from time to time? Was that man who was the first to appear by his mother's side when her mother was being bullied? But, since he left, Kangtian was burdened with all of this. All kinds of memories flashed through Kangtian's mind. Looking at that familiar appearance, the corner of his mouth drew out under, touched his nose, looked up at the sky, and said in a low voice, "Thank you." As a man, he does not allow himself to shed tears, even in the face of his father. Perhaps in his father's eyes, he's still a child. but he lacks does not allow himself to shed tears. He knows that all of his own growth are by his Father's help. If there is no Father's helpers in the heavenly realm, he is being decapitated. If there is no Father, he has already been crusaded by the group of heroes in the mortal realm. If there was no Father, one would not have come to this divine path. How long has it been since I've seen you? Your temper is still so hard. The middle-aged man walked forward and gently touched Kang Chon's head, laughing. This familiar gesture caused Kang Chon to no longer be able to hold back the tears in his eyes. A tear gently crossed his cheeks and ground in the air, drifting into the distance. "Well, welcome home," the middle-aged man said. Grabbing Kang Chon, his figure flickered. Kang Chon only felt a flash of images in front of him, and when he looked at the scene in front of him again, he froze once again. Familiar places, familiar images, familiar people, images that were once buried deep in the depths of his memory, unexpectedly reappeared in front of him once again. Mother, the woman who had already disappeared in the river of history, unexpectedly reappeared in front of him, gazing at him with tears in her eyes, gently wrapping him in her arms. Kang Chon cried. Tears couldn't stop staying down. He couldn't control it at all. This way, he endured all kinds of long, let his character become extremely tough. But, in the face of long, sought mother, he still cannot control his tears. Perhaps he is really not suitable for cultivation it. No iron heart. The road is ultimately remote. Cultivation of the Tao must cut off all mortal dust. But the heavens have not been. Ba looked at this scene. The corner of his mouth also revealed a smile, gratified. As the first strongest of the divine path, he naturally has the power to travel through the major divine paths. When Kang Chon just appeared, he already knew. Watched Kang Chon forcefully endure the pressure of that sea water. Struggling to move forward on the bottom of the sea, he was very gratified. His own son is definitely going to be over his own existence. After a hush, Kang Chon only completely recovered his mind. Looking at his father, who contained a smile. His father's appearance, really different from the rumors in the divine path. Legend has it that wherever the heavenly emperor hegemony appears, it is a bloody storm. The heavenly demon divine Tao is like that. The emperor Yu divine Tao is like that. And even the Tai divine Tao is like that. But this gentleman in front of him doesn't have a trace of that arrogant and rampant hegemony. What is there is just gentleness. Letting Kang Chon feel that warm and welcoming atmosphere that he hasn't felt in a long time. What do you want to know? Ba said softly. Kang Chon shook his head, took out the Overlord sword, placed it on the table, looked at his father, and said, "Does it still matter?" Baha laughed. This laughter, only to let Kang Chon saw that party of the strong rhyme, the worldly domineering. Want to laugh then laugh. Anyone can not care. Baha laughed a few times, pressed on this hegemony knife. Popped down. Fang's beast ran out. After seeing Ba, froze, then lie on the ground, head rubbing up the trouser leg of Ba. I used to think, wait for you to come. All this doubt you will ask again. Perhaps a few days and nights cannot finish. But I also thought of you with resentment to come to me, but I did not expect. My son was so sprightly. But also important, right, unimportant, you and I, father and son together. Everything is unimportant.